Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on the next evolution of label printing, introducing the ZD420 and ZD620 powered by Print DNA. I'm Lauren Amalia, Marketing Manager at Barcodes. We're thrilled you could join us today. We're so excited to share how the Zebra ZD420 and ZD620 printers will revolutionize the way your organization prints barcode labels. We've got lots of great information to share with you today, and we've got a great lineup. Again, I'm Lauren Amalia, Marketing Manager at Barcodes. We also have Marty Johnson, Senior Product Manager at Zebra Technologies. He will be providing us with in-depth information on the ZD420 and ZD620 printers. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Marty. Marty, it's all yours.
Thank you. I appreciate the introduction and everyone's time today. So as Lorna said, I'm with Zebra Technologies, and I am responsible for several of our product lines, one of them being our printers that we're going to talk about today. And one of the key differences in this generation of printers over the previous one is kind of referenced here in the slide. It's the fact that these printers are powered by Print DNA. And we'll go into more details about that throughout the conversation. But Print DNA is really, to put it in simple terms, is really kind of our new application software and firmware that's embedded and offered with these printers. And it really enables a lot of new capabilities with these printers versus the previous generation, as well as some of our competitors. So we'll get into that. And before we get into the physical hardware, I wanted just to spend a few minutes talking about the various markets and applications these printers can be used in. And as most of you hopefully know, Zebra's been in this the thermal printing business for quite some time, so we have a large amount of experience in different vertical markets and different applications. And so again, just to kick this off, talk about some of those markets and applications and use cases for these particular printers, and realize that they're so flexible that they can be used in a wide variety of different markets and use cases. First off, one of the key markets that these particular printers can be used is the manufacturing market, manufacturing industry. And manufacturers use these printers to print a wide variety of labels and documents. Some of those are shown here on the screen. So one of the basic labels that these printers can be used to print is shipping labels. So as the manufacturer produces something, it goes on the shipping dock, we can print those shipping labels with these new printers. Agency labels is the other key use case where as products are being produced, they have to have certain certification labels on the device itself that's being manufactured, so it can produce those agency labels, as well as the other labels you can listed. You can see here inventory labels, receiving labels. So it doesn't necessarily have to print a label. It could print a packing list as well. So a document that goes inside the box that's being shipped, and asset tags just for inventory, warehouse control within the manufacturing environment. On the right-hand side of the screen, you can see some of the key benefits that the printer offers to our manufacturing customers. And we'll go through these in more detail, but at a high level, one of the key benefits is that these printers are very fast to deploy and very flexible. So if they're deployed in one method, one use case in an environment, in a manufacturing plant floor, and it needs to change the next month or next year, the printer can be updated, upgraded, modified, changed to support the new use case, new applications. The other benefit that these printers can provide is that we have many customers who have to ship or produce things that need to have foreign character sets on the labels that's being printed. This particular set of printers has the ability to support virtually any foreign character set that you can think of and print those on the labels. And one of the new things that Print DNA, as I mentioned earlier, brings to these printers is the ability for the printers to be easily managed. And so it really requires minimal management from an IT perspective. From a flexibility perspective, I talked about some of the ways that the printer can be adjusted based upon the use cases of the printer. We can also support a wide variety of media types. Virtually any kind of media you would need to print on, we could support through these printers. The print widths on these printers is up to 4 inches wide, so we can print on smaller labels, but the maximum print width on these printers that we're talking about today is 4 inches wide. And from a networking connectivity perspective, there's a wide range of connectivity options that we'll go into as we go through the presentation, but we can connect to virtually any type of environment that you can think of from an IT perspective. And all this really guarantees maximum uptime of the printers. So we know that these printers are used in oftentimes very critical applications in your manufacturing line or production line or shipping line. And if those printers go down, that's a bad thing for your operations. So we design these printers to be virtually bulletproof and run nonstop based upon the labels that you need to print. So again, manufacturing, these printers designed for a great use in the manufacturing market. Also, transportation logistics organizations use these printers as well. They may print some different types of labels, but some of them might be similar to those that we talked about in the manufacturing space. So asset labels, shipping labels, receiving labels, and packing slips. So the other one that's not listed here that's used quite a bit in transportation logistics is cross-docking labels. So these printers could be used to print cross-docking labels as well. Some of the key benefits of this printer in the transportation logistics market are listed on the right, and they're very similar to what you saw in the manufacturing space. So the bottom line is that these printers are designed to provide maximum uptime based upon your environment and your use case. The other key market that we see these printers being used in is the retail space. So if you think about a typical retailer, there are many different tags, many different labels on items that are being sold in the store or in use in the back office or the back end of the store. So the typical applications that this printer can support within the retail space are, just think about price management, price tags, price markdown tags, shelf labels. Could be used for printing return tags, general information labels, and we also see this printer be used in retail pharmacies as well. So it could be used to print prescription labels that would go on the medicine bottle that your retail pharmacy is dispensing to their customers. And many of the same benefits on the right-hand side as in the other markets that we have talked about already. So again, just wanted to do just kind of a quick level set to talk about where these printers can be used in the different use cases within these vertical markets. So looking now at the printer specifically, this is just kind of a representation of our overall desktop printer portfolio. And when we use the term desktop, it really refers kind of the physical size of the printer. So this is a relatively small footprint compared to some of the other heavy-duty industrial printers that we offer. And these are fairly lightweight, 5 to 7 pounds. So fairly lightweight. They can be picked up and moved around your operations as needed. But looking across our printer portfolio, our general strategy when it comes to printers is to offer printers at different levels and different price points and different capabilities. So as you can see on the screen, if you go to the far left, we've got printers that we can classify in the value class category, a mid-range, and a premium class set of printers. So what we're going to be talking about today for the remainder of the presentation are the printers in the mid-range and the premium class. So we launched the ZD420 thermal transfer printer, and hopefully everyone knows what thermal transfer technology is. That's the printer that uses a ribbon and provides a label or printed document with a long life, or a longer life than what you'd get from a direct thermal printer. And we also offer direct thermal versions of these printers as well. But we introduced the ZD420 and ZD620 thermal transfer version in 2017. So these printers have been out for several months, and they're getting great adoption across all those markets we talked about earlier. The ZD420 is designed specifically to replace the GK420 printer, and the ZD620 designed to replace the ZD500 and the GX420 and GX430 printers. So for those Zebra customers out there, if you have those printers, we're going to be talking about some of the updates and changes that we've made to these printers to make them more efficient and enable you to be more productive in your operations while using these printers. And then again, on the far right, the ZD620 and the ZD420 direct thermal versions, those printers launched in 2018. So we now have, again, the ZD420 and ZD620 available in thermal transfer using a ribbon and direct thermal not using a ribbon models available today in the market. So the key benefits to these printers at a high level is that both of these printers are extremely easy to use from a end user operator perspective, as well as for those organizations like IT that support these printers. They're very flexible, and we'll talk about this in more detail. You can basically support any kind of media that's available in the market up to 4 inches wide. You can print in direct thermal or thermal transfer. We have a wide variety of media handling options, and the printer can be adapted to many different markets to make it extremely flexible and use cases and applications within those markets. And the last point here is that these printers provide an enhanced visibility and remote device management. So we've made it extremely easy for IT organizations and operations to be able to see these printers on their network and manage these printers remotely. And again, we'll go through this information in more detail as we proceed. So from an ease of use perspective, both printers are very easy to load the media in the printer. So this image here represents the open printer. So if you look at the photo in the bottom right, so the printer cover is open and we're looking down into the top of the printer. And so the yellow roll holders, it basically is just doing that. They're designed to hold the media roll, and to load the media, you basically just spread those roll holders apart and put the roll inside, and it's as simple as that. And then you just pull it out from the printer, close the cover, and you're off and running. So to move the roll holders to the right and to the left, to spread those out or narrow them down, we have this media guide stop adjustment. So that's basically, for lack of a better term, it's like a roller, and you roll that forward or backwards to either expand or contract the roll holders. So again, we said that these printers can print up to labels 4 inches wide. So you would roll the media stop guide out to open up the media arms, or if you wanted to print on a smaller label, 1 inch label, you would roll it the opposite way to contract the roll holders. So even though we say that these printers can print up to 4 inches wide, they're flexible enough to print on labels and documents smaller than that through these roll holders. And the other key enhancement to the printer is this movable media sensor. So this yellow notch in the front can move right and left, and what that's used for is to support the specific kind of media that you want to use in the printer, the labels that you're using. So most labels have some type of indicator to help calibrate the printer on the label and print appropriately or properly. So there are oftentimes off-center black marks on the label, the back side of the label, and that movable media sensor can be adjusted to detect those off-center black marks. Or you may have your labels or items, your tags die cut with notches, so you can move the media sensor to detect those notches to calibrate the labels. Or you may have a use case where you're printing multiple rows of labels, in this case smaller labels that we maybe go onto a product of some type. Again, we can use that media sensor to detect where the printer should calibrate on those labels. So again, a comprehensive set of media capabilities that enable us to use virtually any media from any manufacturer in these printers. The other point from an ease of use perspective is the actual display on the printer, or the interface that the end user would interact with the printer through. So this is the status icons that appear on both printers we're talking about today. So it's very easy to see these status icons, and they're very straightforward. So the icons are designed to represent status, pause, data is being received or transmitted, supplies, whether you're low or out of media, and then whether you have network connectivity or have a problem with network connectivity. So the idea here is to, at a glance, realize if there's an issue with the printer, and the status indicators, status icons will give you an indication if you're having an issue with the printer. We want to make sure that we can maximize the uptime with the printer, and we feel that the status icons can do that. The other option with the ZD420 is a more advanced display. So we can provide an optional 10-button control panel and color display. So you can see the buttons and how they're used and what they're used for in the slide here. This menu selection enables you to scroll through the menu that would appear on the screen if you want to adjust some printer settings or perform some work on the printer. And then the basic 3 buttons for pause, feed, and cancel are also on the display of this printer. And these were also on the previous slide that we saw earlier. The key difference, so the key benefit of this particular option is the color display that we offer with the printer. So the background colors can change based upon the status of the printer. So this is when the printer is in a normal operating mode. And if something happens, if you're running low on media, or if there's another status that could occur on a printer, the background color would change yellow. Or if there's a severe error with a printer, in this case, head open, the background color would display red. So the idea behind this is at a glance, you know if you have a problem with a printer, a status condition that needs to be addressed immediately. So the idea, again, is to make easy and fast resolution of the issue to ensure that maximum uptime with the printer. So we talked about flexibility. One way that we can offer different flexibility with both of these printers is through the media handling and connectivity options that these are now field installable. These were not available on the GK or the GX series. These are now available and field installable on the 420 and the 620. So we can offer a peeler mechanism, and for those who aren't familiar with that, basically the label prints and the backing is peeled off the label, and the printer holds the label until you take it, and then it will print the next label. So automatically peeling the backing off the label. Or some customers will use a cutter, and as the name indicates, as the label is printed, we have a cutter module that will cut the label off the core roll and fall onto the table or desktop or into somebody's hand, whatever operations dictate. So the cutter module is available as well as a field installable module. And then on the field, on the ZD420s, from a connectivity perspective, we can offer a serial Ethernet field installable module as well, and that's what we're depicting here. So a simple serial card or Ethernet connector card, and how these are installed in the printer is you simply remove this little bezel here and you insert those into the printer, and then there's a replacement bezel that will expose these connectors. In a matter of a minute to 2 minutes, you're going to have an upgraded communications capability. So very, very flexible, very easy to install these upgrades from a connectivity perspective. And speaking of connectivity options, the other options we have on the printers are USB host, USB 2.0. We have an Ethernet connectivity, serial that we talked about earlier. And then as an option, we can also provide Wi-Fi, and we've updated these printers to include the latest Wi-Fi capability, 802.11ac, and we're now offering Bluetooth Low Energy on the printers and Bluetooth 4.1. So all these different connectivity options really enables us to connect to virtually any network that you might have in your operations, or directly to a PC. Talked earlier about the field installable dispenser and the cutter. So this just gives you a quick idea on how those are installed. Again, pretty straightforward, pretty easy. You basically remove two screws. You can see the option, and you just plug it into that connector, replace the screws, and you're off and running with that new peeler mechanism or a new cutter mechanism. And you don't have to reconfigure the printer. You don't have to make any changes to the printer. The printer itself will recognize when that new option is installed and will adjust it appropriately automatically. So again, very fast, very easy. 3 to 5 minutes, you'll have one of these updates installed on your printer. The other thing that we've modified on both these printers is enabling the printer to support a larger ribbon. So traditionally, we supported a 74 meter ribbon on the GK and GX models, and with these new printers, we're now able to offer a 300 meter ribbon. So we're basically increasing the size of that, the length of that ribbon by 75%. And just in general, if you have a ribbon roll that's longer, it means it's going to cost less per inch or per meter than a standard ribbon. And from a end user perspective, an operator perspective, they're going to have to replace the ribbon fewer times since it's a longer length ribbon. Another nice feature that we have developed, and this is an option, is we call it an attached power supply. So if you're familiar with Zebra printers and you have GK or GXs installed, you know that there's basically a power brick that you have to connect to your wall outlet and then connect to the printer. And sometimes that can be a bit cumbersome deciding where to place that power brick. And so now we have this pedestal, it's a power pedestal, and you basically plug this into the printer, and this will then connect to the AC outlet, and you no longer have that brick that is, again, a little bit challenging to find where you place it. So everything is embedded now within this pedestal that, again, makes it easier to install and easier to deal with on a day-to-day basis. So that was kind of a quick overview of the physical hardware that has changed from the previous generation to the current generation of printers. What really has changed is, I mentioned earlier, is what we call print DNA. And print DNA is really that genetic code that makes up the firmware and the applications that we have available to support the printer. And it really benefits everyone from end users, so the daily operators, to your IT organizations, to operations. And if you have developers on your staff and they develop support for these printers, it's going to help them out as well. So I want to spend a few minutes talking about print DNA and some of its capabilities. So, print DNA at a high level really enables better performance from your printer. It enables you to keep your printers running at their peak with little or limited effort. Print DNA also enables you to manage your printers in different ways, and we'll go into those in a few minutes, but it provides for superior manageability of those devices. It also makes the printers very easy to integrate into your IT environment, into your technology architecture. So at a high level, this is the different capabilities and tools that come with print DNA, and I'll go through a few of these at a high level so you can understand the power of print DNA and what print DNA is now bringing to these new generation of printers. So we categorize the different capabilities of print DNA into four buckets: productivity tool, development tools, visibility tools, and management tools. So from a productivity perspective, there's different types of applications and different types of uses that print DNA bring to our customers. We have the ability, we call it enterprise printing solutions. So if you need to connect your printers to SAP or Oracle ERP systems, we have this enterprise printing solution capability that makes it extremely easy to connect to SAP or to Oracle or some of those other key ERP systems. We have, again, I'm not going to go through all these, I'll just point a few of these out that might be more relevant to the audience. We have a capability called PDF Direct. So in many cases, an ERP system will send a label format down to a printer in a PDF format, so not a traditional printer language format. And in many cases, that requires IT or operations to provide some type of conversion software to convert that PDF into a language that the printer understands. So through this PDF Direct capability that's embedded within the firmware of the printer, you don't have to have that conversion tool anymore. It's all done within the printer. So if an ERP system sends a PDF label format down to the printer and you have PDF Direct installed, we'll automatically translate that within the printer, and you no longer need that extra software to do that conversion for you. It's all done within the printer. We also have our own label design software called Zebra Designer. So if you're already using labels, using barcode printers and label design firmware or software, that same label design software can be used with these new printers. But if you're looking for a different application or a new application, Zebra has its own label design software called Zebra Designer. Moving up to visibility tools. So this is talking about our different capabilities of offering connectivity to third-party MDM applications, so mobile device management applications. So hopefully people are familiar with those, and the third-party brand names that might resonate are AirWatch and SODI. So if you are currently running one of those third-party MDM applications, PrintDNA enables these new printers to connect directly to those third-party MDM applications. There's no extra cost on the Zebra side. Those connectors are built into the printers. You would have to spend money for an additional license, device license through SODI or AirWatch if you want to add those to their applications. So what this gives us then, gives you as our customers basically a single dashboard. If you're using those third-party MDMs already to monitor and manage other devices like your mobile computers or other technology within your organization, this capability enables the printers to connect to those third-party MDMs as well. So you basically can have a single dashboard monitoring all your devices. Then Zebra themselves also offer asset visibility services and operational visibility services. These are services that Zebra can offer to help you manage and get visibility into your devices, into your printers specifically, and manage them and control them much more easily. And we'll go into a little more detail later about those services. And then on the bottom right here are some other management tools. Again, the idea here is that we know that IT wants to be able to install these printers and do as little with them as possible. So we feel that with some of these new tools that we can now offer with these printers, that we're minimizing the IT effort and maximizing their control of the printers. So some of these tools that we have available is Bluetooth printer management. In some cases, you want to connect your printer via Bluetooth to a mobile computer or a mobile device. We can still manage devices and give visibility to those devices when they're connected via Bluetooth, if that's of interest. We also have our own device management application called Printer Profile Manager Enterprise. So this is an application software that would reside on your server and gives you two-way control of your printers if they're connected to your network. So from the desktop or whatever control station that you're using that is running this particular application software, we can give that total control. So, for example, if you need to update new firmware on the printers, excuse me 1 minute, I have to cough. Sorry, it's clearing my throat. So Printer Profile Manager gives you two-way communication. So for example, downloading new firmware from the printer can be done remotely. Historically, if you needed to update firmware that required somebody from IT to go out to the printers and connect the laptop to the printers and the cable and download the firmware from the laptop. This can now be done remotely through Printer Profile Manager, as well as the printers can send status information up from the printers to the dashboard of Printer Profile Manager to give you status information about what's going on with the printers. And the last item under our management tool is printer setup utility. And this is an Android-based application that enables you to interact with the printer. So instead of going to the front panel of the printer or using a laptop to interact with the printer to set up the settings of the printer or to configure the printer itself, this can all be done through an Android-based printer setup utility. So through a mobile computer or a laptop, you can connect to the printer either over the network or via Bluetooth and change all the printer settings directly from that mobile device in that application. So you no longer need to go to the printer to do that. You can do that remotely again if your mobile device is connected to the network, or if you want to do it locally, you can connect that mobile device to via Bluetooth to the printer as well. Then we have a whole series of development tools. Again, if your organization has developers and you're developing support for Zebra printers to your applications, we have a variety of different development tools that enable that to happen very easy and very quickly. So we can give you these SDKs in different operating systems. We provide source code, sample source code, and all the documentation that you would need to develop support for Zebra printers. So that was a quick overview of the software capabilities that PrintDNA brings to the table. And again, one of the biggest changes from the previous generation to the current generations of printers that we're offering. So I want to transition the conversation now to talk about the labels that come from your printers. And if you don't know, Zebra and Barcodes can supply these, provide these supplies to you as well. And these are Zebra certified supplies. And we know that there's a wide variety of choices in the market today from a supplies perspective. So that some of them are at different quality levels. And we feel that the Zebra certified supplies are at a quality level that's going to provide a great deal of productivity and uptime of the printer. So just some of the key 4 points here as it relates to Zebra supplies. We can ensure that you're going to get a continual supply of the labels or media that you need to use in the printers. There's not going to be any downtime waiting for the supplies to come into your organization. We have 4 different manufacturing plants around the U.S. that can ship those supplies to your organization. And related to the supply itself or downtime related to the printer, one of the challenges we've seen from some of our customers is sometimes the quality of the media will cause organizations to reprint the label, or they may not be able to print the label at all just due to the quality of the media. And we're guaranteeing you that Zebra supplies are at the highest quality, and that's going to reduce the printer downtime as well as it relates to supplies. As well as that also impacts worker productivity. If you have to reprint labels or you have to continually adjust your printer based upon the media you're using, that's going to take more time away from your daily user's real job versus supporting and working with a printer. And we have a high level of customer service related to supplies. And if you need any help designing or developing custom supplies, custom labels, custom media for your operations, we can do that as well. And all of this results in reduced capital and operational maintenance costs and troubleshooting costs for the printer. Again, if you're guaranteeing quality supplies go into the Zebra printer, we're going to guarantee quality output coming from the printer. And all the Zebra supplies are tested through Zebra printers, and we know they're going to work versus guessing whether the supplies will work if you get them from another party. And the last topic is around services. So just want to spend a few minutes talking about the service capability we have available for these printers. So we have what we call Zebra OneCare. This is our comprehensive service plan that ensures that your business is going to continue to operate as needed with the Zebra printers. And we have really 2 different types of key offerings, which we call Essential. It provides for your basic coverage, and you can see that those things listed here. And then we have Select, which gives you a higher level of capability from a service perspective as it relates to the printer. But all this really enables you to maximize your device uptime. So if you have problems with your printer, we're going to be able to repair it or give you directions on what's going on with the printer to make sure it stays up as much as possible. And the service is coming from Zebra. So we're the designers, the manufacturers of printers. So we have the expertise to provide that service. And if you select one of these programs, it's going to really prevent the idea of unexpected repair costs. So you can plan for that service cost, and it will reduce that unexpected repair cost. And taking this this responsibility off of IT really enables them to focus on their day-to-day jobs and their strategic initiatives. And I did mention some of Zebra's visibility services. So this is another offering we have that enables our customers to have really unparalleled insight to the health and usage and performance of their printers, their network printers and mobile computers. So this is one of the key benefits that we can now offer with the new generation of printers that we've talked about. So if you have questions, like we show here on the screen, where are my devices? Are they ready to use? How many devices are currently in repair? So we can give you visibility to these kind of questions through the visibility services that we're able to offer now. And there's two different levels of visibility services that we're offering. One is, we call it Asset Visibility Service, or AVS. This is really an at-a-glance insight into the asset itself and its health. This does not require any third-party MDM. We do have another level of visibility services called OVS, and this interprets more complex data that is used in conjunction with your MDM and our repair system. And so this requires that you already have an MDM in place, or have plans to install an MDM like AirWatch and SODI. So this is going to give you a level of visibility that is, again, a step above the basic visibility that you can get with our AVS types of services.
Thank you, Marty.
Yep.
So, at Barcodes right now, we're currently offering a free application assessment, to kind of help your organization determine what's going to kind of be needed now or in the future to optimize your supply chain. In addition, we're also offering a free demo for a limited time, so about 2 weeks out right now. If you guys want to give us a call at 866-653-7048, we can, kind of discuss the application assessment as well as give you guys a free demo. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. We really appreciate your time and hope you enjoyed the webinar. Marty, thank you so much. You did a great job. And again, please give us a call at 866-653-7048. Thank you so much.